Hello. How you doing? Whoa, I am red. Holy crap. Well, not much to be done about that, I guess. Hey guys. I'm using the webcam on my laptop, and yeah, I'm not sure about that webcam. Anyway, how's everybody doing? We will get started very shortly. Thank you very much, Jeff. Very much appreciated. Uh, Means quite a bit to me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Live for 30 seconds and already 10 people here. Very cool. Going to be a lot of burping today. Fizzy water. Anybody get anything fun recently? Anybody picked up any new cars recently? I got two new cars. I'm going to talk about them in a second here. Well, two new cars. They're new to me. They're not new cars, as I figured out from my friend, not freezing in the central UK. Yeah, I'm sure. There he is. Hey, Clem. Speaking of new cars that are not actually new cars, but they're new to me, which is fine. I picked up two new to me cars yesterday from my buddy Clem. He's got a bunch of cars that he just got recently, and and I got two of them yesterday. What's going on with the light here? Yeah, not really a fan of the mix of the light here. Any experience with no, Vin, I'm sorry. With the yeah, no, I don't have any experience with that. I know what you're talking about. Um hey, Chris, cool, Lauda and Hunset. That's awesome. Very cool, very cool. No, I don't have any experience with that. My experience with I know it's not digital per se. I mean, I guess it is. But my experience is definitely just seeing stuff online. That's basically it. Last purchase of two Skelectric. Leslie got two Skelectric Janettas. Very cool. Nice. Hey, Travis. How you doing, Travis? I'm a little more awake than I was last night when we talked. A little less hammered. I was relaxing last night after playing some frustrating games of World of Tanks. And Travis and I talked, well, very late last night, my time. Very early in the morning. Well, I guess it wasn't that early. Anyway, hello, Coffin Seller. Took your daughter out for the first time to run her own stock cars. Awesome. That's what it's all about. Yeah, Travis. I always look forward to our chats too. Hello, Vigar. Cheers. Time to go to bed here in Norway. Yeah, it's pretty late there. It's probably what 2300 hours there. I'm assuming about 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock at night, maybe almost. A couple of old MRRC cars. Oscar, thank you very much. Cheers. No. You're allowed to self promote here, Oscar. We are absolutely fine with slot invasion. 2200. Okay, yeah, that's what I figured, Vigar. Thank you very much for showing up, even if it is briefly before you go to bed. Very cool, guys. 2100. Yeah, it is. Oh God, these 12-hour, 24-hour. It's 4 o'clock. You guys know what time I go live. So yeah, 42 people. Holy crap. Um, Hello, Ross. Hello, Stone. Very cool. Very cool. Hello, Darren. Very cool. Very cool. Thank you all very much for showing up. Everybody, if you are so moved, please give the stream thumbs up. That helps people find it. As you know, blah blah blah. Hey, Brad. Cheers. Ross. Cheers. If I already didn't say that, thank you very much for everybody showing up. Hello, Kevin. Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. So let's talk about briefly. I know this isn't news, but what are you going to do? Hello, Seven Care. I picked up two cars from my buddy Clem. Um, Thank you very much, Chris. Well, Chris, what else am I going to do? I could talk about photography. No one would be here. I could talk about hello, Jay. Very cool. I could talk about cooking. Probably no one will be here either. I am an expert, as you can see, in cooking. Um, and I could talk about my love for Mini Coopers, but again, I don't think anyone would be here for that. So we talk slot cars, which is perfectly fine with me. So, Nissan adding to, and I think I had this car years ago. I may still have it somewhere. As you know, yes, yes, yes. Slotted Nissan. It's the Le Mans test. Yeah, it's the Le Mans pre-qualification, pre-quali. And um, I remember not really thinking much of this car when it first came out because I was like, well, what the heck is this car? It's kind of crazy. But now that I'm more of a Nissan fan, hey, Gary, cheers. Um, my friend Clem said he had this car, and I had to add it to the official collection of slotted cars for my work for slotted, and the official collection, whatever. Um, I like taking pictures of toy cars, and I really like black cars. Flat black cars are kind of my jam, and test cars especially. For some reason, hey Mac, cheers. Um, for some reason, I really like test versions of cars, like the pre-race version of the cars. Um, Jonathan, check out Project Bikini on YouTube. I will check that out later. um, hello, Jeff. Yeah, so um, the test version of the Nissan had to be added into the collection. I'm a big fan of the wheels, or the inserts rather. These wheel inserts are some of my favorites that Slottit's ever done. There's a little bit of extra detail um, that for me really makes these wheels, and I absolutely love this car. And hey, Reese, cheers. Yeah, so this had to be this had to make it back into my collection. I may still already have one of these somewhere out in the nether regions, out in my garage. I may not. Next, I am adding to my Pioneer collection this again slightly used slot car. Um, I got this from my friend Clem, and I believe this is one of the first ones that they had made. I have the yellow one, the yellow notchback, the Terlinga racing car, and I always wanted a red one, red Mustang, and you really can't go wrong with the Pioneer car. It is absolutely gorgeous. They run really nicely. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's pretty much the best. The best. Like not a huge fan of. I'm not like a Mustang guy or a Ford guy per se, I guess. Um, I am. Holy crap, AG. Cheers, man. Thank you very much. Wow, I really appreciate that, man. Yeah, I really appreciate that. Thank you very much for the tip. Hey, classic and slot car, very cool. Um, yeah, this Mustang, uh, Clem said he had it, and it was I do a little deal with Clem here and there for cars. He and I trade stuff, and I wanted another Mustang for the collection. It's still got the extras underneath. That's very cool. Yes, Clem from Warrior Run Speedway. Yeah, yeah, Oscar, he's my buddy, and he and I do deals for cars here and there. Um, Clem, I think Oscar Clem said that he's been doing pretty good business with you for new guides and stuff. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, so I picked this car up. It is yes, he is a great guy. He is the best. Um, and really happy to add this to my collection. This car will get used on the track. I don't really have many cars that I think are kind of like shelf queens. So, hey, Douglas, I figured that, yeah, I had the opportunity, had to jump on this bad guy, and really happy to add this one in. Um, the finish is, I mean, you all know about Pioneer. I mean, if you don't, do yourself a favor. Hey, DC, do yourself a favor, get yourself a Pioneer car. if you're into especially American muscle, they've really kind of, I don't want to say cornered the market because they haven't cornered the market, but they've made some of the best American cars, American slot cars, American types of slot cars that you can buy. Basically, the stuff is, yeah, Travis, exactly. They run really, really well. Um, these cars are just, they're gorgeous and they run. And, it's an American car. How can you not, if you're an American anyway, how can you not love it? Uh, Even on this car is a used car. It's definitely got some scratches on the roof, but I'm okay with that. It's patina, not patina. Anyway, yeah. So, uh, very happy about that car. Now, the news recap that you all have been waiting for. Dun dun dun. So, I'm honestly not sure. I should have had. Do they have a Viper or a Challenger? No, they don't. They don't. Um, I'm not sure. I posted a whole bunch of BMWs and other cars coming from Fly the other day. This looks like it's got to be the bulk of the cars that they're going to be releasing this year. Um, there's a number, there's a Rusty series of cars that they're going to be doing. They're going to start off with the Porsche 911. That's very cool. And then there's the London to Sydney marathon race car with a whole lot of, what are you going to call, crap all over it. It's got roll bars, external roll bars, like an exoskeleton on the 911. I'm tabbing through my photos here to talk about them. It's the cars, just it's absolutely incredible. The number of cars that Fly showed the other day, and some really interesting stuff coming there. Okay, so Ross asks, why doesn't anyone make any Trans Am Datsuns? So there aren't enough of them. There were only a few cars that were ever raced in Trans Am, only a few liveries that were ever raced in Trans Am. Generally speaking, and this is why, Pioneer, or this is why people do, cars with a million liveries, because you need to make, and Simon talked about this, you need to make, you need to have multiple liveries of one car for the car to make money. Now, you just don't have that with the 510s. It would be really cool if they did. Hey, Trevor. Um, I really don't think. I mean, the hey JM, we're talking about why doesn't everyone make 510 Datsuns? There's only a couple liveries of them, and I think it would be difficult for for anyone to really make money with a 510. I mean, sure, you'd sell the more notable one or two decorations of a car, but there just aren't really enough of them. Um, it would be really awesome if they could. The same kind of thing with the 280 Ross asked Newman's 280 or 300ZX. Again, you need more than one or two liveries of a car to have it make money. You need five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10. You need a lot of liveries, and that's normally why you see so many types of cars like Porsche 911s, like Mustangs, because they've been raced a long time. There's a tons of different liveries they can use, and I mean it really makes sense for people to do that. So hey, John from Berwick, right on, John. I am. I mean, you may know I live in Hughesville, so we're not too far away from each other. What are the Revels like? Um, what are the Revel monogram like for performance? Not great. I don't know who designed the chassis, but the motors are way too fast for and have no brakes, and the wheels and tires are hard, and the tires are hard. They don't really stick. It's hard to make them go. Yes, Jeff, I'm aware. Hot Wheels, Datsuns are always sold out. They are. Hot Wheels can make literally anything and it will sell out. Slot car companies are not Hot Wheels. Um, they have more distribution. They have distribution literally all over the world, and everywhere from grocery stores to big box stores. They can make lesser known cars like that, and collectors like you and me. I have a lot of Hot Wheels myself, and yeah, I mean, we'll buy them, even if a kid doesn't know what a Datsun. I actually might have. God damn you, Hot Wheels! Exactly. I actually. Oh, here's some Hot Wheels. Here you go. Here's a Hot Wheels. I think this is a Hot Wheels. Yes, Formula Formula Pack. This guy is um, from when I was a kid. This is one of my original Hot Wheels, and probably why I like John Player. The the livery, because I played with this car. I mean, since I was little, since I was 4 or 5 years old, whatever. Where can you get Polycar Track? Well, John, you can talk to Clem at Warrior Run Loco Works, and he can get you a Polycar set. You can go to LEB Hobbies. They have, hey Ray, cheers. LEB Hobbies has Polycar sets in stock. There you go. Yeah, so this is, um, yeah. Um, this is one of my favorites, and actually sits right next to my desk here. One of my favorite Hot Wheels ever. And yeah, there you go. Here, see if it'll focus. There we go. It will focus. Look at that. Look at the detail on this guy. Pretty cool, huh? I have some red. I have somewhere. I think I have a red liner somewhere. Um, yeah, there's another car that I would love to see as a. Where can you get? I already asked that. Answer that, John. Hope. Hope you heard. Just catching up. Oh, JM asked, did I see the multicolored 911 IROC? Yes. I I don't know that they will be making that exact livery on the 911, or if they're just showing that as like a promotional thing. It would be cool if they made that livery, but we'll have to see. I really love the IROC series. As you know, I got the Skelectric one done before I left. And anyway, so a car that I know Travis is going to go nuts for as soon as I show it. Um, we need to stream Hot Wheels sometime. Absolutely, you can host that one. There you go, Nissan Skyline. This one is a car that I built. Yeah, warm here in Texas. I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure it's warm at my dad's house. My dad lives in Llano. This is the Airy kit. It's a 132nd scale Skyline. I would really love to see this car done as a production slot car. This I made for the uh, um, the proxy series that Van LaPointe had years ago, and it was the GTU. So under 5 liter. This was the Canadian proxy series, and it's got. This is not that old. This is a kit you can still buy. Yeah, so I painted this. That's why it looks so horrible. This started as a plain a white kit. Atlanta near Linden. Sorry, I don't know. I guess I missed the conversation there. Yeah, so this is a plain white model kit that I built that I put. Christopher Law says whatever happened to the 2G? Yeah, I'm not really sure, Chris. I know, it's slot. It takes a while to get cars done, so I think we'll see it because it's Maurizio's favorite car. Um, So this is a Pioneer Mustang chassis that I shortened. It's a Sidewinder, and it's got looks like a slotted guide in the front there. And I mean, I did a really crappy job of painting it. My painting skills are garbage. But my point is, there's not really a whole lot of liveries of this car. I've done research on this car. Don't drop it. I've done research on this car for a company, the real car, the real Nissan Skyline. Travis can correct me. Was this the first Skyline body? I'm not sure if it was or not. But this is a car that I think would sell all over the world. And I pitched it lightly to Scalextric. Um, and I had talked to Carrera about doing it. Um, I don't know that that they would ever make this car. At least it's not a Golf livery. No, no, no. I painted this. I can't. It's hard to find the right shade of blue for Golf. Um, anyway, yeah, the original GTR. Yeah, this to me is, one of the OG cars that need to get made. This has got BWA wheels on it with I believe BWA mini light inserts, which are my favorites. And there you go. It's got Ninco rubber. Um it has Okay, there you go, Jake. Hey Jake. Um, it's got a Sidewinder gear. I forget. I haven't opened up this car in a long time, and it doesn't really run that well. But I really love it, and I would dearly love to see somebody do this in 1/32 scale. I really would. Man, we got a bunch of new people. Jeff says, "What are the chances you can roll over get some HO in the mix?" Yeah, I am planning on doing that. Again, it's not something that I personally do, so it's gonna be a little bit until I really get a little more fluent um, with HO stuff. Hey, Silver Cobra. It may be that it's probably that I'll just include some news here and there. Hey, Slockar Man Cave. Cheers. So I don't know necessarily, that it's going to be a lot of me really knowing um, all that much about HO, but mainly just maybe showing some news, that sort of thing, from a company or two. So if I do include some HO in the news, keep in mind that it's just the news that I'm putting in there. It's not going to be, personal. I'm not going to be running cars. I'm not going to be putting up an HO track. It's just, if people have a little higher expectations, then frankly, I can manage. I mean, I can't have everything at the house here. So, um, Charles, thank you very much for showing up from Connecticut. I appreciate it. Hey Sven, how you doing? You deleted a post? Okay. I don't know. I don't know what you asked. I'm sorry, I missed it. Um, Etsy has a cool wood HO track, sells for like $300. Yeah, I'm sure it's HO's fine. Hey Sven, cheers. Thanks for showing up. Okay, vielen Dank, Sven. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Having some tea in your Slot Car News mug. Very cool. Um, yes, Darren. Darren asked if I've built for proxy races. I mean, this was a proxy car, and I won one of the first Race Across Americas. I don't know if you've ever heard of that proxy race. That was kind of the OG of proxy racing, and I built. I think it's out in the garage. Yeah, I built a 959 um, Porsche 959, and I had Ortman original mix Ortman tires on the on the 959. Had a slotted chassis, HRS chassis, and I won. I absolutely demolished the competition. The car just it won by many, 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 many laps because Ortman tires, especially back then, years ago when there wasn't really um, a lot of aftermarket tires available. And I mean, the silicon tire scene was just really getting in business. Okay, so okay, let's hold off on the HO talk for a second here. So Leslie asks, what is a proxy car, or what is a proxy race? So a proxy race is, yes, I'm going to discuss proxy racing now. So proxy race is, it's basically a race that is set up on a website. You build a car according to the specs of whatever the class is. So let's say it's like this. This was made for a fairly slow class of car. This was based on the cars that were legal to enter. Obviously, this was a 1/32 scale proxy, and you had a list or a years that the cars where you were allowed to enter a car from. So let's say the proxy was from 1965 to 1970 in real life, right? And whatever. Let's just use that as an example. So um, you you see what car you want to make from those years if you want to enter that proxy. So let's say you're a 911 guy, or you want to race something Japanese or whatever. You see what the motor specs are, you see what the tire specs are, you see what the general rules are, if there's a weight rule. You build a car according to those specifications. You mail the car to the race director. The race director might live in another city, probably another state, another country even. That race director collects all of the cars. Those are the entries for the race. The race director takes photos of all the cars, talks about all the entries, and then the race director runs all of the cars. Now, technically, it's a time trial race. It's not technically, like, the cars don't really race against each other. So technically, it's like a time trial. So hey, Clint, cheers. Thanks very much for showing up. Hey, GT Taylor, thank you very much. And Kyle, cheers. Um, so you build cars according to the specs for a race, and you mail them to the race director. The race director races all the cars, and then the fastest lap, or the most number of laps in a certain time, um, wins the race. The race director then boxes the cars up, all of the cars together, usually, and mails them. Hey, John, mails them then to the next racetrack, and you have usually a variety of surfaces. So there might be a race that the cars get mailed to where it's a wood track, or it's a plastic track, a Scalectric track, or a Carrera track, or a Polycar track, or an Inco track, or whatever. And then you see how your car does on those against those other cars in the next race. And then the race director there, or the racer there, might race them with his friends, or might race them alone. You race all the cars, you see which car does the most laps, and then they box up the cars after you figure out who the winner is, and then you send them on to the next place. And the Race Across America, the one that I won years ago, um, my Porsche 959, it aced the field. It wasn't even close because I had Ortman tires on. I was the only one that had Ortman tires. Everyone else had silicone tires, which especially at that time were, because we're talking, oh God, like I don't even know, 2004, 2005. I can't even remember, honestly. Um, and you just mail them from place to place to place, and then you look up the photos and the race results online, usually on a website. And that's what proxy racing is. They're raced for you or by proxy. So yeah, it's pretty cool. it's a way of seeing, like I think it was Darren, um, or somebody said it's a way of seeing all the tips and tricks of racing slot cars. So yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff. Um, okay, now HO. So maybe Argonaut having someone that could talk about HO. Um, I want to keep the news results or the news fairly concise. I don't want the news to be, like a discussion show. I don't really consider the news that I do a discussion. It's just like a presentation of the news for that week. It's not really, I mean, there may be like, like the live chats that Travis and I've done. That's a little more of a discussion show. That the problem is I don't really have much to add to a discussion show. So eh, if I'm just showing the news from like AFX, then that's the news. I don't really have someone to don't really need someone to talk about it all that much because it's not really the point. I hope I'm explaining myself. So it's not really. I don't really want to. If someone wants to start an HO uh, news show or an HO discussion show, by all means, start one. There's it's just uh, I'm not opposed to the idea of showing HO news, but I mean, I'm not going to be doing any HO tuning. I'm not going to be able to track. I just don't feel like, and I'm not going to be putting my own money into. Thank you very much, Clint. I'm not going to be putting my own money into a scale because almost all the stuff I have, I bought. So, um, yes, Ross, I'm aware that AFX made 510s. Absolutely. I know. I'm aware they did. Um, so it's nothing that I'm going to invest my own money in. Sorry. Um, so that's kind of a bit of hesitation about putting HO in. I don't have anything against it. It's just not anything that I do. I don't understand why people insist that I need to do it when it's not what I do. So I'm sorry. Um, so the Fly releases the other day. Um, there was just so much news from Fly the other day. The Transit vans also were shown, and it's really incredible. Uh, I mean, there's a lot of different stuff that Fly's talking about making. Um, I really hope they do it. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if they're actually, when they actually get the transit out. Um, sometimes uh, it takes smaller companies quite a while. Hey, Ian, it takes smaller companies quite a while uh, to get to get products made. It's it takes it's a long time uh, to get a complete project done to the level of quality that the companies want. So it's hard for us as hobbyists to understand why sometimes slot car companies take a long time to get something out, and it can be pretty frustrating. It's years and years and years ago. Some companies would announce cars, and then it took 10 years for some cars to get made. So it's sometimes I kind of wish, excuse me, some of the companies would hold off. Hey, Silver Cobra. Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, people want to see what they want to see. I'm pretty straightforward about what this channel is. And yeah, Leslie, that's my concern is that I don't really have much to add. Leslie says don't spread your net too thin, too wide. I don't have anything to add really. If I would show uh, HO releases, I don't know why I keep talking about this, but I don't know. I'd be happy to support in any way I could. someone doing an HO show. What can I say? Um, I just wish people would chill out a little bit about the not anybody here, but some of the comments I get are a little crazy. So, uh, slot it. Um, I asked Maurizio beginning of last week, I think, if he'd be willing to come on to chat like Simon and I had done. Um, I haven't heard back from him. I'm hoping that he and I can do an interview soon. It's come up. Yeah, so Darren just asked me that. So I was hoping to talk to him tomorrow. Um, today, this afternoon, I found out that I have to work tomorrow. So, but Maurizio never replied back to me. So I honestly don't know when um, when I'm going to talk to him. Uh, I'm hoping, if he wanted to talk, if he did want to talk tomorrow, I could probably make the time to I could probably make the time to do it. So whatever. It'll happen. It'll happen. He's a great guy, and I've known him for years, and I'm sure that we'll talk soon. And I'm sure that once we see the slotted releases for this year, um, that we're all going to be really happy. There's a bunch of new Ferraris that they're going to be coming out with. Some Ferrari non-Ferraris, with the licensing issue. Uh, I don't know if Carrera still has the Ferrari license for slot cars. They had it when I worked before I worked for them. They got the Ferrari license for a 5-year period. Then while I was working for them, they re-upped that license with Ferrari, and in fact, they hired a guy who um, who had worked for Ferrari as a licensing guy. So, and he worked for Carrera. So, yeah, I mean, you never know what the connections are. Um, when you talk to people at a slot car company or a real car company. Um, yeah. So anyway, so I expect to talk to Maurizio sometime soon, and I'm gonna try. I'll reach out to NSR. I don't know. I think I said this before. I don't really know um, if anyone from NSR would be comfortable speaking in English. That's kind of the the hang up there. So, um, yes, Darren. Darren comments the 512M looks good. May time, I believe. I believe so. Slotted have shown photos of the 512M, and that's the appropriate car to race with a 917, as well many of us know. Um, I do. The car looks the 512M from Slotted, the prototype photo that I got to show on their Facebook page, and I think I put it on their Instagram as well. Um, the that Ferrari looks just absolutely stunning. I'm really happy that we're finally getting a 512M. I really like the squarish nose on the 512. That's got a very kind of angular look to the body that a lot of Ferraris don't have. Ferrari's known for their very feminine lines. They're very swoopy lines, and the 512 looks really, really really good. Um, John says, I do both 124 and 132nd. Um, yeah, I mean, I like 124 as well. I have quite a few 124 scale cars, mainly. And I think, John, you said you were the one from Berwick, so you've probably been to a Bloom Raceway. Uh, they have, they had a big Engelman track there. Um, that I had raced on a couple times. The big commercial track, big commercial wood track that looked really, really great. Um, and I really like 124 scale as well. The group of guys that I race with, we race a lot of 124 scale stuff with uh, um, H&R chassis, the brass chassis, big, heavy brass chassis, really great basis, very simple slot car to make 124 scale. Drop a model body on top, and you are ready to go. It's just I love 24 scale stuff. I really do. Um, Scott, oh yeah, Scott. So you asked about this the other day, I think, right, Scott? Anyone heard when Scale Auto is releasing their track system? Yeah, I think uh, Scott. Well, I know Alan Smith is the distributor here, I believe, for Scale Auto. I don't know if he has any of the track in stock or not. Um, the track looks really, really good. Um, but yeah, no, I haven't seen it. Um, yeah, Garth, I think there'll be a lot of 512s. I think we're just gonna have to be patient until we see the exact one that we want, or whatever. But when a company releases a new mold, um, uh, it's going to be in the yeah, they sold the Engelman track. That's right, John. Yeah. um, I think we'll see a year's worth of 512s from Slotted. They're not just going to do one; they're going to do them for 10 years. um, Gerald says we're trying to figure out how to mold inject, so we've got a real slot car chassis. Oh, you're making 510. Very cool. Oh yeah, I see that. Start a slot car company. Oh, very good luck, Gerald. Good luck. That would be awesome to have a U.S. based slot car company. Um, if there's anything I can do to help, let me know. I would love to see that. Uh, the 512, or any it's got the 512 on the brain. Yeah, it would be really amazing to see a U.S. based slot car company. 88 people on. Thank you very much. If you are so disposed, please give me a thumbs up for the stream. That helps YouTube find the stream, helps suggest it to people, and I would really appreciate it. Thank you very much. So, what else can we talk about? Um, Injection molding is a science. Yes, Chris. It's why brass chassis? You know, um, it's a nice heavy chassis. It gives you a good basis for a slot car. It's it's kind of a, I don't know why people, it's easy to solder. Um I really love I really love the very simple, very very simple chassis. It's based on an old Pro Slot chassis or something like that, or I forget who made the original one, but it's oh, Chris. Oh, very cool, Chris. Yeah, yeah. I would love to see an American-based slot car company. That would be fantastic. I would do anything to see that. Um, Clint asks, "Do you know anyone that offers aftermarket guide like Slot Invasion for fly cars on Carrera track?" Well, does Slot Invasion make one? If Oscar is still here, maybe he can answer that. I don't know, Clint. I don't know. It probably, yeah, 42 presses. Holy crap. Um, it probably, I'm sure there would be something that Slot Invasion makes that you could adapt to fly. Um, Fly guides are, they're okay. The Slot Invasion guides are really, really excellent. Clem and I were talking about that yesterday. Um, it's just, yeah. Christopher Laws asks, "What's good cleaner for Skelectric track?" Um, I've seen people use a Swiffer. I've used Swiffer. I've used microfiber cloth. Um, Not a lot of surface on Skelectric. You could use a lightly damp uh, cloth to wipe it down. Um, No, so Chris, Simple Green has solvents in it, and the problem with using solvents on especially soft plastic track is that it'll pull out the oils in the track and make the track brittle. Holy crap, Gary! Thank you very much for the tip. That really means a lot, Gary. Cheers. Thank you very much for the £5. Holy cow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It so the Windex, maybe Windex, it's a little more, it's a little, it's not really, yeah, I mean, you could use Windex, I guess. Um, yeah, there you go. Oscar answered you. Rubbing alcohol probably would work well, but again, you got to be careful what you use on plastic track because, and over time is what I'm talking about. It will pull the oil out of the track and make the track more brittle. Um, Now, see, WD-40 again, it's penetrating oil. That's what WD-40 is. And I would think that WD-40 would just, get into um, the surface of the track, and over a long period of time, I would think it would ruin it. Um, so yeah, yeah, there you go. Oscar answered from Slot Invasion. Um, they make guides for the slotted guide fits fly cars, and it works for Carrera and Wood Track. There you go. Yes, yes, Ross. Tack cloth would be. That's what I would suggest personally, because there's not really solvents in it, or if it was, it would be just kind of minor, rather than putting a solvent directly onto the track surface. I never really suggest that to people. I know plenty of people that have done it, um, but inox for the rails, yes, yeah. The good thing about Policar and Carrera is you don't have to worry about the rails because it's a stainless mix, so you don't have to. The rails don't get gunked up like the Skelectric rails do. Um, so um, a U.S. slot car company. Yeah, I would gladly support anybody anybody talking about starting a U.S. slot car company. Um, the injection molding, the assembly would be the costly part of it. And again, any licensing. That's the problem. Is you talk about you talk about making a company. You gotta pay for licensing somehow, or you run the risk of the cars um, being taken by if you're making a Ford, if you're not paying Ford for the licensing rights, it's difficult. You run the risk. Chris says you do wish Skeletor would update their track. Yep, they made really nice start track, hard plastic track. That was good stuff. Yes, Stephen, you're right. CG, yeah, I know Matt. CG is in the US. They do make a very limited selection of products, very good selection. The stuff they make is excellent, but it is definitely a very limited selection of stuff. Absolutely. Um, but an actual US based company, the production costs would be much higher than China, of course. Um, I would be willing to pay it. And I think there would be quite a few other people that would, just to not give those people in China. Um, I'm not a big fan of giving China money. We don't really have much of a choice. There's a lot of good reasons not to give China any more business than we already do. Which again, I don't really want to get into politics here, but yeah. So we do need a U.S. based company. Hopefully, we will see one. Um, the licensing is the issue, is a big issue. Um, yes, shipping would be a lot less, Ian, but it's not, the shipping is minor compared to the licensing costs and the production costs. Um, the cost of manufacturing. Um, Jersey Mike, just look for Boone's slot cars. I don't have a link that I can get to easily. If Travis is still here or anybody there, well, you're welcome to put a link to Boone's in the here in the chat. He's part of the extended family, I guess you'd say, however you want to put it. So it's definitely, there's a lot of costs associated with making slot cars anywhere other than the Orient, um, because they get a huge break on materials costs, and definitely the labor costs are. Um, no, Darren, there are plenty of photos out there. There's a video there's a video on, and they call it, because it was a British documentary, and it says they call it Making Scalextric, because, no offense to any Brits here, I guess Leslie's here. Um, Brits tend to be a little sloppy with language when they call all slot cars Scalextric. So it was uh, Carrera's uh, cars and track and whatever being made. This was, more than 10 years ago. Um, it's a whole video that shows the factory where they made them. I've seen lots of pictures that, like when I worked at Carrera, the hey Ian. Oh yeah, well, sorry, I don't, not running down anybody. It's sloppy language like that's a little annoying, especially when it means that people can't find. They know it's Carrera, but it says Scalextric in the title. Anyway, yes, Darren, you're right. They're all Hoovers. I agree. Yes. No, I'm not saying Americans are out of this, but it's particularly it's a troublesome when you're looking for, um, if it's Carrera, and it's they keep saying Scalextric, and it's not Scalextric, it's Carrera. But it's here on YouTube. There's a channel there. There's a how it's made. Oh, I mean, John. Hey, John. That could very well have been. It was years ago though. It was, I mean, more than 10-year old. Um, and it was pretty. I mean, I've seen a lot of photos and talked to a lot of my coworkers, who would go to China. Like I said, when I worked for Carrera, we would have people regularly go to China. We actually had an office in China. Or Carrera has an office in China, and well, actually, it's in Kowloon. It's not actually in mainland. It's in Hong Kong. Um, yes, I saw the Hornby Model World show. Yeah, I saw it one. I saw it when I was working there, because they were talking about my project, the IROX. So, if that's the one you're talking about. Anyway, loving my Jeff says, "Hey Jeff, SRC car with premium brand. Should I try Scalextric Track NSR MR? You should definitely try. Oh, you have Scalextric Track. Excuse me. You should definitely try uh, any of those brands. NSR, Slot It, MR. They're all a little more money, but they're all worth it. They're all good quality stuff. So absolutely, you should try some. You really can't go wrong. It definitely takes a little while to figure out how to use the system, especially if you're not, kind of fluent in the parts that they make and how to use those parts, that sort of thing. But you'll get it. It's not hard. Just ask online, and there'll be plenty of people to help. Hey, Steven, thanks, or Steve, thanks very much for showing up. Hey, Jeff from Sunderland, England. You have a football team there, don't you? Jeff, thanks. I really appreciate it. Yeah, so we don't have a really full picture yet of what's coming this year from every company. we have a reasonably full picture. We still don't know, and I don't know either. SCX. Um, I have been talking with SCX, and they're still working on exactly what they want to do. Let's just say that. Hey, Jack. Jack, you can always watch the replay. It's the replay is always going to be here. Um, yeah, so SCX still are around. As a couple people have been asking me, hey, did they go out of business? No, they didn't go out of business. They're still around. I'm consulting for them, and yeah, I think this year we're going to see some pretty interesting stuff from them. I have a hint or two. So yeah, you know. Um, Chris Neal says right now, with the price increases, slotted cars are barely more expensive than Carrera or Skelectric. Actually, Skelectric cars are as expensive in the U.S. The retail, although actually, I think Slotted may raise the price just a tiny bit. They haven't really raised the price in years. Um, Skelectric, it's a British invasion. Yeah, right. There's a bunch of Brits here. Cheers, guys. Thanks very much for showing up. I really appreciate it. Um, there's definitely hey Michael, no, Parma is not around evidently. I really don't know why. Um, the price increases have definitely hit hard, and Skelectric have raised their prices. Carrera have raised their prices fairly substantially. Um, it's tough. People have to make money. Okay. Hey, John. Hello, Simon. Jeez, a lot of Brits today. Cheers, guys. Thanks very much. So SCX will not have um, SCX will not have a distributor here. They will have dealers here. There's a big difference. Um, so they won't have offices here like some distributors do, like some major companies do. They will have dealers here that they fulfill directly out of China or out of Spain. Um, I helped them identify about 2 dozen dealers so far. They have SCX is going to be. Hey, Clifton, cheers. Um, SCX is going to be sold, or is actually sold now, by Electric Dreams. They have a few cars now. Don't worry. I mean, they don't. There's nothing. Oh, you're saying too bad about Parma. That's it. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So uh, they will have. Man, the Brits are coming out of the woodwork. They will have, aside from Electric Dreams, they will have LEB. Will be selling SCX cars, and Great Traditions, which is also Lakota Collectibles, on eBay, will also be selling them. Neither of them have SCX products in stock yet, so y'all are gonna have to be patient, please. But those are the three dealers: LEB, Great Traditions, and presently Electric Dreams. So there you go. Ian, we all watched the new Hornby last show, was all about Skelectric. Yeah, yeah, that's one of their brands. Um, they're doing pretty good, I guess. I haven't looked at they're a publicly held company, so they have to release their the financial information. Haven't really kept up with that. We were forbidden from buying, obviously, because we knew secrets about what they'd be releasing. So while I worked for them, we were forbidden from buying stock in the company. And I don't know that necessarily, strictly speaking, stock in Skelectric is worth it. Um, so Chris asks, not looking for discussion, just a quick answer. Automold, do they mold the chassis Yes. So Chris asked if companies use a standard chassis. No, no one makes a standard chassis for a car that for releases that they make. Pioneer, Slot It, NSR, Skeletra, Carrera. They all make each chassis is specific to that car, which increases the mold costs just a bit. Yeah. So insider trading, eh? No, no, there wasn't really. I mean, we weren't allowed to buy stock. Not to be too terribly dramatic about it. Yeah, yes, Ian made a profit first time in the last 10 years. Um, yeah, well, you get rid of people, you get rid of you pare down on a lot of staff, and you have a pandemic where everyone has to stay home and play with things when they can't go out, and you have a perfect storm for making money for the first time in 10 years. Um, Separate mold, Leslie makes the comment, separate molds would cause different colors. Um, no, everyone just makes black basically for their cars. Um, no, is the chassis for that particular car? The chassis. Oh, I see what you're saying. Does the mold go with that as like a separate? Is the mold a separate mold for that? Is it part of the body mold? Is that what you're saying? I'm honestly not sure. I believe, I don't know if if they redo the chassis every time. I kind of doubt they would recut a mold just for a chassis that they already have. So there you go. Yes, Ian, the lockdown massively helped all hobby companies, um, all consumer goods companies who had a lot of products in stock. I had talked with a lot of slot car dealers, some hobby dealers as well. I talked to somebody else in the hobby industry, and the it massively helped. The pandemic massively helped sell existing inventory being the words. Now, the problem is a lot of places are sold out. You know, we've talked about this. Is that there's digital chips are hard to get. There's a lot of parts that are harder to get. It's a great time to invest in analog sales. Just saying, a lot less parts for analog. Um, okay, getting some notifications here. Um, Argonaut says, "What is one car you would like to see done or redone? For myself, I would like to see the Can-Am Shadow. In correct scale, I do have the Vanquish and L&M. Um, the one car. Well, there's a lot of cars that I would like to see done as slot cars. We had talked about the 510 Datsuns. I would love to see a Skyline done. This first version of the Skyline. This was my ham-handed attempt at making the first version of the Datsun Skyline. This is an Airy kit. Oh, ARII. Cheers, Reese. Thanks a lot. That I put a Pioneer Mustang chassis under. I cut the chassis down, cut it in half, and glued it back together. Um, so this is a car that I think would sell in all over the world, and I would like to see this car done. I would like to see the Shelby GT 350s. The Hey Clem, it's snowing hard there. Yeah, I closed my window, my blinds back there. It was snowing like hell. Um, just when I started here, it's going to be snowing all. We're going to get at least an inch of snow tonight, maybe a little more. Um, Chuck asks, are the price increases due more to shipping or production materials? Chuck, Simon answered, it's both. It's absolutely both. The shipping. Cheers. Thanks very much for showing up, Richard. um, just to rent a container to get products from China normally would have cost, and I've gotten this number from a lot of other people. Simon talked about it in the video interview that I did with him. Um, the production costs, but also the shipping costs. Um, a container that normally would have cost $3,000 to rent or $5,000 to rent to get stuff out of the Orient now costs 20,000. So the shipping cost for just the box to put all the slot cars in, the sets, the parts, whatever, just that, not even the price to ship it, has gone up astronomically high. The shipping cost to get that box shipped has gone up astronomically high. So it's costs on top of costs on top of costs. So Chuck, it's a lot of different things, and it's not the company just trying to gouge or to make more profits. It is absolutely not that. They Because when you raise prices that high, the sales really diminish quite a bit, and they know this. So they're not just trying. Cheers, Darren. Thank you very much for the tip. It really means a lot, guys. Thank you very much to all the guys that have tipped. Um, I really appreciate that. It's not required here, but um, it's it just it's well, thank you. Um, is there a big market for secondhand cars outside of eBay? There are a number of um, places. CincySlots.com. He sells a lot of um, he sells a lot of used cars. Look there. Cheers, Darren. Cheers. Um, and another Darren comments. Plus, containers are simply in the wrong part of the world. Exactly. Um, yeah. I mean, there's no easy answer to this, and people want to blame China. China's a very easy place to blame. Sure, they should take their fair share of blame. I'm not defending China, trust me. But it's there's it's so costly to do business now. I don't know that we're at the are we at the point now where the cost of shipping and the cost of materials in China now balances out, where if you had the ability to do high volume production um, in the US, would that make money? You're talking about in a few cents an hour to pay. I guess I don't even know what people get paid in China to do assembly of slot cars, but if you're paying people in the US to paint, to tampo print, or to use a water slide decals or whatever, um, if you're talking about that, it's going to be, what are you going to pay somebody? I mean, you know, Jersey Mike, I got this shirt. I think I got this at the Corvette Museum. It's an old one when I used to do shows there. It's a C7R shirt, racing shirt. Um, so it's just the costs are just astronomical, and then the costs of assembling cars. I mean, uh, I don't want to talk about what I get paid, but boy, I would make a lot more money working at Target. That's all I got to say. I was looking over some jobs that were posted. Not looking for a new job, but Jesus. Anyway, holy crap, John! Thank you very much, John. It means a lot. Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Cheers, guys. Thank you very much for the tip. Um, it's I agree, Trevor. It would be really good to produce them here. I mean, localized production, just like localized power production. We need to decentralize a lot of things. There's a lot of urban planning that is just all based on everything being in a central location, which is a really stupid way of doing things. If we had more localized power production, biomass, and all the other things that are available. We do a lot of fracking around here in Pennsylvania. All of that gets exported to other countries. Very little of it gets used locally. Very little of it gets used locally. I don't want to be supplying the rest of the world power. Um, it's uh, first Tesla slot car. We actually approached Tesla, Darren. I tried to approach Tesla. I tried for about 3 months to get somebody to reply from Tesla. Um, and Tesla never replied back. I visited the Tesla booth at the Detroit Auto Show and talked to everyone who was on the booth, and there was nobody there from marketing. They were all just there. They were all salespeople, whatever the folks were that were there, and no one could put me in touch with product licensing because Carrera wanted to do at that time Teslas, and because of that, we couldn't ever get a hold of anybody. I called them numerous times. There was nobody at Tesla that would ever answer, which really sucked. Um, Ian asks, what hand controllers do you recommend getting into if you're getting into club racing? I'll show you. I think my controller is right here. Oh, forgive my butt there, guys. I hope my mic is still working okay. Um, so this this is the controller. This controller is made by DS. It's probably quite old now. It's a very basic DS. Their PM controller, their professional model controller. I actually got this from Alan Smith years ago. He is the U.S. importer of these controllers, I believe. And this is what I use when I race at my club. This controller, I think, would be a little over $100. It's a very basic controller. It's got a sensitivity adjustment, as you can see. It's got a brake adjustment, and that's it. It is not a very expensive. I used to have a third eye, a brown eye, as I like to call it, that I had a lot of problems with. The wiper arm never made really good contact. It would short, and the car would shoot off the track. The wiper arm would lift. The wiper arm on this is attached really well, so when you pull the trigger back, it doesn't lift. It doesn't want to lift the wiper arm off the board. So as you pull the trigger, the arm, the contact goes up through the bands and gives you more power, right? That's how a controller works. I don't know any more than that about them. But this is the controller I use. This is a controller I would suggest, because unless you know you're going to really stick with slot cars, don't spend $300-400 on exactly, Stephen. Race the cars, not the controllers. Um, when you get into an arms race with controllers, you lose people, because um, if you can't get a controller that you feel you're competitive with, then um, you're much less likely to stick with the hobby. I just can't justify spending, and um I do a fair amount of slot car driving, racing, whatever you want to put it, however you want to put it. Spending $300 on, holy shit, Oscar. Excuse my language. Wow. Um, Thank you very much, Oscar. I really, 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 really appreciate that. That's very generous. Um, Oscar just made a very big donation. Um, Slot Invasion US. I talk about their stuff all the time. I Can't recommend them highly enough because I like their stuff. Um, no, John, we're gonna show that. I don't know why it Keep It Simple Stupid came out. I guess because of the word stupid. I don't know, but yes, this is a very basic controller. Gerald has mentioned Professor Motor controllers. I have a Professor Motor controller. I use that pretty much first when I got into the hobby. It's also very basic, also excellent quality. Um, that's a very good place to start. I don't think. Do I have it over there? Let me look. Let me look. Um, I do have my Professor Motor controller. Let's just bring them all over. Be lazy about it, like I was gonna be. Hope everybody can hear me still. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do controller discussion again. Okay. So this is my Professor Motor controller. This is a very basic controller. It's got 3 wires and and it's got clips at the end, and you adjust the power by screwing out the screws on or the little screws on the top. And this is very basic controller, works really well, freaking bulletproof, not expensive. You're going to get your money's worth out of this. Great place to start. Absolutely great place to start. Go to Professor Motor, tell them Dave sent you. Not like that means anything. I'm just being silly. Um, and yeah, great controller. They make This is a very old one now. You can't go wrong with this controller. Good place to start. Like I said, the DS controller, great place to start. Another one to start with. This is a little bit more money. This is a slotted. This is an SCP-1. This is pretty old now. These are uh, these are an acquired taste. This one has the slotted SCP controllers. I believe they still have this design. It's a magnetic controller, um, which means that there's a wiper arm inside, and there's a magnet that knows the position of the wiper arm. So there's not much feel to this. Um, it's a very comfortable controller to hold. It is frighteningly complex to use. I don't know anybody, and this is not a criticism of Slot but maybe it is just slightly. I don't know anybody that really knows how to use these and can explain to me perfectly how all of this works. I've talked to a lot of people that know most of the controller. Um, I don't like the fact that there's no finger trigger feedback feel with this. Um, but I do love it as a product because it's comfortable to hold. It's all enclosed, unlike this with the big board sticking out of the top. It's a little ridiculous, um, with all the stuff sticking out. And I know that's pretty common for slot car controllers. It's just like which looks like a product, which looks like a well thought through, perfect product. Anyway, um, slot it. Good place to start. As Chris said, you can just one dial at a time. Good luck. um, I wish they made a very basic controller. I told Maurizio years ago that he should make a very basic controller, kind of like the Professor Motor controller. Make something that he could sell, um, for less than $100. That plugs right into most, and it has a module. This is a really, really nicely designed system, just so complex. Um, yeah, like Michael says, a lot of people just can't figure it out, and I get that, and that's kind of the problem. It's um, there's a module here that you can change in and out, for different configurations. Like I forget what this is set up for now. I don't even know. Um, I just I wish he made a very basic controller. I just do, and I've told him that. Um, they need to really there needs to be a really good basic controller. I think Slot It needs to make it. They make they make a set, and they put those old thumb, or they put the thumb controller in it. Why don't they make a set, or why don't they have an option to easily hook this up to their own set? Now, I know you probably could get the right 3.5 millimeter plug, but let's do that out of the box, shall we? $70 max on a controller. I think that's an excellent idea. This is an MRRC controller. This was their club racing controller. I use this controller quite a bit as well. I got this directly from John. The gentleman who owned MRRC for years. This was a very basic controller. I forget if this is a 30 ohm controller. Can't see if the resistor has a. I'm not really sure. But again, it's got a nice handle. It's got a good trigger. It's got an excellent throw. You can adjust the sensitivity on the throw. I really love it. Hey TNT, cheers! Thanks for showing up. This was a very basic controller. This would have been less than $100. Another good place to start. You could find these in England probably. I bet Pendle Slot would have these. What's that other place? The Brits would know. But this is a very basic controller. They will not work on digital. The SCP-1 slotted controller, this controller will work on digital. You get the right module for it. You buy the handle. By the way, there's also different colors of handles you can buy, different colors of knobs. He said knobs, that you can buy, so you can kind of customize the look of the controller. And there's the module that you get that has the right connection. And yes, you can hook this up to the Carrera, or I believe the Skelectric system. So anyway, so that's another one. DeFalco. I had a DeFalco as well. It kind of wore out. It became uncompetitive, and I stopped using it. And I probably should have kept it. Yes, so DeFalco are definitely Rocco Sam. DeFalco are definitely good controllers as well. This is a Parma controller that we made with SCX. Parma had, and SCX had an agreement to use their branded controllers in. We did one set while I was working for SCX. It came with these controllers. This is like the Pro controller. It was basically just a Parma controller. I think this is a 30 ohm controller, 30 ohm resistor. Again, my eyes are failing me. Yeah, I can't really tell. I think it's pretty sure it's 30 ohms. So yeah, another good controller if you can find them. Professor Motors is definitely a good place to start. I got these controllers on the ground here. This is the aftermarket SCX professional controller that we made. This again was just a Parma controller with a bigger heatsink coming out of the top, and I've used this one quite a bit. No one makes wireless. Yeah, I mean wireless. You have to. It's a lot of technology that you have to make a wireless wireless system to use. Years ago, Fly made their own controllers. This was a really excellent controller. This had a tension adjustment, it had a brake adjustment, and on the bottom, can you read that? It's got a polarity switch. What a freaking thought. This controller is probably the most comfortable controller that I own. I think this is a 25 ohm resistor in there. This is a really excellent controller. It's got a little rubberized grip or trigger there. Very comfortable to hold. Far and away the most comfortable controller I have ever held, and still works just fine. The tension or the brake adjustment doesn't really work on this. It broke, unfortunately, but really smooth. You can hear very, very quiet across the across the wiper arm. Haven't really used this much recently. It's got the banana plug uh, uh, clips to plug it in, and yeah. But generally speaking, if you're in the U.S., I know some people mentioned True Speed. Not a lot of True Speed controllers available in the U.S. Um, this, and I put a SCX sticker on it because I was working for SCX at the time, just being a dipshit. Um, this is what I would suggest: Professor Motor Controller, um, very basic and bullet proof. If you race at a club, um, what I would suggest is I would get the ones, as I think Gerald mentioned. Yes, Gerald mentioned the ones for with the brake and the sensitivity adjustment. Um, there's no good one that's Jersey, Mike. There's no best for digital and analog because the systems are totally different. Um, Frankenslot, Ross mentions um, the they make a good one for Carrera Digital as well. So I mean, you see all the controllers, and this is some of the controllers I have. I have more, and I used to have a third eye controller. I used to have a 15 band DeFalco controller. Um, I feel like it gets into too much of an arms race, and I don't like that. I mean, I like the idea of a basic controller, which is why this controller, the PM controller, is the one that I use. It feels comfortable in my hand. It's got the I think this is a Fox handle. It's the same one that MRRC used. This one, I have really small hands, and this one is the most comfortable in my hand. It's the same one there. Um, I really pretty quiet, nice throw. I really like these controllers. I don't. Yes, Jake. Hey, Jake Corley of originally from Hot Slots, Jake. Cheers, John. Thanks for showing up. Jake mentions the Professor Motor Controller. This is why I don't use a Professor Motor Controller. So Day Tripper. Yes, I work for the paper. I work for the Sun Gazette. I make no. I'm not trying to hide it. So this one is this controller has this sharp, at least I think it's sharp, edge right here, and because the trigger is kind of so far away. Yes. Oh, okay, Day Tripper. Yes, I work for local newspaper. Um, oh yeah, Sheldon asked that. Yeah, Sheldon, I have a video in there about who I work for. Um, this one is a really solid controller, and like I say, I really really like it, but it just there we go. When I hold it, these areas right here, these little edges, work into my hand. I don't like that, and that's why I use the DS controller, because it's got this rounder edge right there, and I work. It feels best in my hand. It's not that big. You can get a double trigger for this as well, but you know, I would, if I was just starting out, this is what I would buy, even if it's a little out of date, even if it's a little old. Someone mentioned that they don't that they a lot of clubs have a rule about what controllers are allowed to use. I think that's a good idea because otherwise you get into an arms race where a guy has a $300 or $400 controller, and pretty much everybody at my club, as Clem can attest to, has a pretty expensive controller except me. I would be faster with a better controller. I just don't want to spend $300 on a controller now. Yes, the Red Fox handle, Brad. Exactly. Yes. Thank you, Brad. I really like this handle, and this is a controller that I'm using. That's it. I'm not buying. I just really don't want to buy a more expensive controller. I just don't want to spend that kind of money on a controller anymore. I mean, I have a million controllers here. Um, this is some of them. I don't know, Leslie. It's an electronic one, so I think it's variable in some way. I don't really understand that. I'll be honest with you. It's not. It's made for home set cars. It's not made for really powerful motors, that sort of thing. Um, a lot of controllers available in the U.S. Absolutely, there's a ton available in the U.S. We have so many controllers available here in the U.S. So, and a lot of aftermarket companies are making them. Holy crap! 113 people. Good lord! Thank you very much to everyone that donated. Oscar, again, cheers, man. Holy crap! Um, yeah, yeah, Coffin. I really like the way the um the fly controller. Good luck trying to find one of these guys. Um, I really like the way this looks. It's a very kind of small handle, and it's kind of pretty long actually, and it really, really uh, feels really good when you're driving it. Um, I don't know, something about it. Nice and heavy too. Um, yeah, I really like it. Um, If people could give the stream a thumbs up, I really appreciate it. It helps YouTube find the videos and suggest them to people. Um, I'm going to be wrapping it up here, folks. Thank you again very much for everyone that donated. There's a tip little dollar sign thing at the bottom for people to donate. That's a new thing that they added, I guess, here. And uh, yeah, Clint, I didn't do what's in the box. The boxes are out in the freezing cold garage. Um, so anyway, um, thanks again, folks. Been a long stream, hour and a half. Really means a lot. I will see you, Jake. Cheers for showing up. I appreciate it. Um, I will probably. I'm gonna try to do another video this week. I only got to do just the news video this last week. I've been trying to take a little bit of time to kind of relax and take it easy. I've been working split shifts at work and all week, and it gets pretty tiring. Even though I'm just taking pictures, I know it's definitely um, uh, takes it's a lot of effort to keep working split shifts all week. It's tiring. So, cheers, guys. Thanks for showing up. I really appreciate it. See you all again soon, and see you on Friday for Slot Car News.